I recently went to the eye doctor, and when she told me that my prescription had not changed, in fact, in the left eye, my prescription had actually improved, I said, oh, that's surprising, because when I take off my glasses, everything seems so much more blurrier. And I used to could see things clearly up close. And she was like, oh no, you're just in that late 30s, early 40s range where you start to lose focus. And I said, oh, I'm aging. Angel, what does that have to do with the topic, which is my story, how I built a business that gives God the glory and gives me a freedom and flexibility that corporate and nonprofit America never could? Well, I'll tell you, before I explain how I built my business, I wanted you to understand a bit of the why. And that why is that I am very aware that at some point in life, each of our time here on earth ends. Just like with my eyes, I'm aging. Thank you, Jesus. I'm getting older. I've lost some focus, right? Before I leave the earth, one of my greatest desires outside of pleasing God, right, is to complete the assignment He has for me. I just want to do my work to reach every person that God has called me to reach. I don't want to miss educating or encouraging, uplifting, praying for one person that I was supposed to. I want to, as some people put it, leave empty. I don't want to store up the talents and the ideas that God gave me, the books that He implanted in my head. I don't want to leave here when He gave me ample and adequate time to get it done. I just desire to contribute to the world what He created me to contribute. And as I'm getting older, it is even more pressing that I do that. So that is a part of my why. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Angel Santos. I'm the business coach and founder of Christian Shepreneur Academy. And like I said, today's topic is my story, how I built a business that honors God and gave me just a freedom and flexibility that corporate America never could. And I want to share this quick story too about the building a business that honors and glorifies God. To me, that's fairly self-explanatory, but I want to talk a little bit too about why a business that gives me freedom and flexibility was really important. Because I know some people had I just don't want to work for anyone. I just want to work for myself. And that's beautiful. That wasn't my thought though. And some people just want to make a lot of money. Nothing wrong with that, right? As long as you're putting God before everything, right? But still, that wasn't my reason for starting a business and even to grow a business, right? Because a lot of times we start a business because we just have a group we want to help or an idea that we like to do. But when you actually grow it to where it's sustainable, to where it's consistent income, that takes something else, right? And for me, when I think back to the beginning of it, I remember being in nonprofit America. I had a great paying job, but what I also did was I would lay down on my lunch breaks in the back of my car, which is not great, or the back of our truck, which is not great. But my energy would run out right around lunchtime. And so instead of actually ripping and running to try to get food, I would just go lay down. I couldn't really fall asleep that quick enough to take a nap, but at least just the laying down and resting my body gave me enough strength, thank you, Jesus, to last the rest of the workday. Now, I'm very grateful to say that after that, I did transition into more so of my business before COVID. So I was remote before remote was really a thing, right? So that is my personal reason why having that flexibility and freedom was really, really important to me. And so what I want to share in this video, though, for those of you who are like me, you may have a different why, but what's the same is your desire. You desire to, again, just build and grow a business that gives God the glory and gives you freedom and flexibility in your life, right? While, of course, allowing you to make the contribution to the world that He created you to, right? What is your Moses assignment, right? So what I'm going to share in this video, I'm going to talk about my personal journey, right? And I'm also going to talk about why faith-driven entrepreneurship is different, okay? And let me just say that this video may be a little bit on the longer side, and I carefully mapped it out. Normally I just speak, but I carefully mapped it out. So if my eyes look like they're moving, it's because I'm literally looking at my notes, because I'm so grateful for all of the steps of the journey, because looking back, I can see how it was all working together, right, to bring me here. And my prayer really is that you will glean from this video whatever God has for you, and that it encourage you, uplift you, and that you take what you need from it to continue on your journey. Alrighty, so we really are going to go through it. We are going to rewind back to when I was a fourth grader. I told you we were going to go back. Stay with me. It won't be that long. I was a fourth grader, and I remember wanting to be an artist or an actress, right? That was my thing. When you ask, oh, what are you going to be when you grow up? An artist. First, I just wanted to be an artist. I like drawing. And at some point, I was like, oh, an actress seems like that would be fun, right? And then I remember being a teenager and thinking, you know what? Being an actress or an artist doesn't seem reasonable, right? And so I decided to be a news anchor instead. And I just want to pause right here for this first moment, because I'd like you to think back to whether it was elementary, middle school, high school, but what was that initial desire? Because the chances are, now sometimes it's not, but chances are it may have been something that God put in your heart even when you were younger that was exposing part of your gift and contribution to the world. And sometimes as we get bigger, we start to not even realize it, limit God, right? Like, who's to say artistry or actress, being an actress isn't something I could have done, right? And so I, as a teenager, wasn't even an adult yet, but I thought in my head, oh, that's not practical. That seems too hard. Not everyone can do that. Let me just stick to being a news anchor. That seems achievable. But we serve a big God. And the takeaway here, please understand me, is not that I should have stuck to, my original dream as a fourth grader, but I just see it a way that I limit God to a degree, because I didn't pray and ask like, well, God, I just decided. And one of the things I have learned in life is to not, and God told me this, do not let your limitations limit God, right? All right. So as it went, though, I ended up graduating and working in news, and realized that, hey, I don't actually like the news. Like I went to college, did my internship, actually was working at ABC 13, and I did like the equipment, right? Which is why I have no issues when it comes to video. I like the production side of it, but news, not really my thing. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And what I realized is that I wanted to make Christian films. So do you see already the full circle moment coming? The actress thing, initial thought that I had as a fourth grader, it actually never went away. I really enjoy telling stories. And as an adult, I realized I didn't just want to tell stories, but I wanted to tell stories that encourage encourages people to just continue to press toward the mark, right? And so I created a nonprofit. Still working at the ABC 13, I created a nonprofit and I started to make short films and TV shows. And it was a lot of fun. And some of the people that I've worked with, as far as both the production team, they went on to work at major news stations, and some of the actors that I work with have been in blockbuster films, commercials. I see them on TV. So the nonprofit did what I desired, but it did have a limitation, right? It did have, it didn't grow to the capacity that it could. In 3 years, I had made about $535. Now, I had spent way more than that. I had spent thousands on just the equipment alone, right? As far as the professional TV camera. But the money I had brought in was a little over $535 in 3 years. Right? And so, as you can tell, that is not sustainable. And looking back, right, I realized that I had a few issues. One, I did not want to sell. I didn't want to. I didn't focus on money, as in bringing it in. I spent the bulk of the time serving, right? Every now and then I would make a folder, get some business cards together, and go ask, a few local restaurants or facilities to see if they wanted to be a sponsor of the nonprofit. But when I say every now and then, I mean every now and then. Mostly because I was working. By now, I was actually working at a nonprofit, making great money. But the issue was I was making money in my at my day job, and I was using that to basically fund my nonprofit, which is not sustainable. But it was comfortable, right? I wasn't aware of abundance principles in business, right? I was raised very much to serve and not sell, and I didn't really understand at that time how to build wealth in God. And honestly, even though I was very comfortable, because my sister helped me a lot with this, I was very comfortable going into an interview and telling them the rate that I wanted to make, right? I had experience giving them my resume, interviewing for the job, asking my rate. That I knew. But taking money directly from people felt wrong, didn't feel good, felt awkward. So I didn't do it too often. I did what was comfortable. I did what felt good. I served the people, right? I created the content. And to be honest, I didn't have a lot of direction and knowledge of building a sustainable business that could not only cover costs, but give a surplus so I could pay myself, right? I didn't have an example necessarily of that. And it's interesting because in my day job for the nonprofit that I was working for, the Christian Community Service Center, I was their marketing and project manager. Same when I left them and went to Keller Williams. I was their marketing manager. So I wrote the nonprofit that I was working for a grant, 20-page grant that got them $250,000, right? So I had a lot of experience marketing for companies, but it was a difference marketing for myself. And my turning point was that I realized when I had my nonprofit on the side, I was working for as a marketing manager at Keller Williams, and they sent me to a business conference on their behalf. I did not want to go to it. My thought was, you want me to spend 3 days in a hotel talking about business? I was not looking forward to it. But I didn't tell them that because it was my job. So at least I was getting paid. So I went to the event. It was by Jenna Rodriguez. And oh, wow. That was one of the events that God used to change my life, because I realized everything that I was doing wrong. I realized that I thought I had a business because I had a website, I had business cards, I had an office space. I thought I was official. I thought I was legit. I had built an expensive hobby. That's what I had built. I was not a business owner. I was an expensive hobby owner. And that's why I was getting burnt out. Now, the great thing was I was committed to my mission, but I realized I was not committed to building any money. And so I decided to make a change. I decided to revamp my business. And I also decided to, for a time, pause my nonprofit until I can fully fund it from a commercial business, and then have the time to invest in a sales team who will focus on bringing sponsors for the nonprofit, right? So I revamped my entire business to focus on selling products, programs, services. Now, I will say that it was a journey. So I didn't go exactly from my nonprofit to being a Christian business coach for women. It'd be great to tell you that, but that is not what happened. I initially was like, I'll still do media, but I'll just charge for it. So instead of creating Christian content and short films, I'll do marketing videos, because I already know how to help companies market their businesses, right? And so I knew now that I'm going to avoid the mistakes that I had been making. I didn't have any product focus. I didn't have any marketing and sales system in place. And I definitely didn't have a network that I had created. I knew the people I went to school with and the people who attend my sanctuary. That was it. And the people I found to serve, but that was it. Right? I had no network. And so I revamped my business. I was open to becoming uncomfortable. And in August 2017, just 7 months after I had revamped my business, I had my first 5-figure sales month. Right? So 2016, that February 2016, I went to the conference where I realized what I was doing wrong, right? Shortly after that, about June, I said, okay, this is what my business is going to be. And the end of 2016, I had already made my first $2,000 in a quarter, right? In just 3 months, which, remember, I came from making $500 in 3 years. So I had just made $2,000 in just a quarter of a year. And by the 7th month of me, committing to this new business model, I had made my first 5-figure in sales month, right? I want to say it was, I think it was just under 15K in closed sales, right? And so I want to be very, very clear that I did this by just trusting God, Him leading the way, because I never set out to be a business owner. That wasn't ever. And I just say that because some people are clear that, I want to start a business and I just always wanted my own business. And great for those people. But you watching this, you may be more like me. I started off with an idea and a mission. I wanted to help people. At every point it was always to help. And that hasn't changed. That core desire, how I help people, has changed. That I charge for it outside of our free resources like our blog, our free courses, and of course our videos, right? I charge for the help, but the core driver has not changed. And so if you, in your business, you've made money here and there, but you've been mission driven and not money driven, I'm just here to encourage you that that's okay. It's normal, right? And it's not like you need to do an about face. It's not like it's like now all of a sudden you just need to focus on money. Money, money, money. No, but you do need a balance. You do need a balance. Mission and money. Because what I learned the hard way, so please take my 3 years in a nonprofit and learn from me so you don't have to do that, is when you limit your income, you limit your impact. Now, I know you may be thinking, I make good money in my job, and that's great. But how long do you want to use your job to funnel money into your business? Because let me tell you, I know what that's like. And it can cause some burnout, right? For me, I was working Monday through Friday in my job, and then nights and weekends, I'm volunteering in my nonprofit. And I'm paying for the space, I'm paying for the supplies, I'm buying food and snacks for the kids, and then their parents were starting to stay for the rehearsal. So now I'm buying food and feeding the parents. So I'm putting in all this money. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it and I was helping, but that's not sustainable. And it wasn't even orderly. And to be fair, it didn't make the most sense, right? It could only last so long. We could have helped way more people if we had money coming in. We could have reached way more people with the content we made if we had way more money coming in. And it would have kept going if I had had the right structure in place. But what I did was I revamped my business. And so first it was the marketing videos. And then when I got my first marketing video client, when I was going to make her video, I realized, similar to me, but in different ways, she had all these other things in her business that she needed to fix. It wasn't just a video she needed. She needed to restructure her business. And so I went from, instead of paying me for a marketing video, you should pay me to be your coach. And I became her coach, and I've been coaching ever since. So I went from my nonprofit to more local media. That was going to be the marketing videos. I got one client from that, but then I realized, no, what people need instead of just a video is actually a better strategy. And then I need to help them implement that strategy and refine it until they're making the money that they want to make so they can reach the people God has called them to serve. So the more local media only lasted for the first client, and then I shifted to grow my brand, which was me as a business coach. And that lasted to 2019. And then God let me realize I only worked with women. I mostly only work with women. Every now and then I would have a man, but I didn't even want to work with like businesses, like big businesses, or even like a massage therapy place. I wanted to work with individual women. And so that's when we had our final basically evolution or rebrand into the Christian Shepreneur Academy, where the smile is on my face because I get paid to help women start and grow their businesses. And because I did all the mistakes already, and I was already great with helping companies market their business, and then I'm really big on just getting things done and execution, and I'm very hands-on, it all works together to give Christian women one comprehensive space to learn first what you need to know, and then two, learn what you need to do in the order that you need to do it. Right? There is no other company where you get help with the strategy, the technology, the marketing, the sales, the copy, everything. But all those jobs I had from working in TV and working in marketing and being the IT for the nonprofit, it all works together for my clients to have one spot where they get all the help they need. Isn't God amazing? And not only that, since 2016, I work from home, which means when I need to go lay down, I can just do it from the comfort of my bed. So no, I didn't build a business because I wanted to work on a beach, but I did build a business that allows me to work from the beach, which I do. It's a wonderful thing to do, right? God led the way. In 2015, I didn't even know what a business coach was. He's allowed me the opportunity to be in an industry that I didn't even know existed. And it's perfect. It's perfect for me. And now I get to, again, just mesh my life mission with my professional mission. And I'm so very grateful. And so how does my business honor him? Well, one, I honor him by being in integrity with what I offer, right? I'm in an industry where some people do not operate in integrity and they have excellent marketing. Their marketing will grab you. You'll be excited to give them your money. And then sadly, that's where their excellence ends. See, all the money they pour, we're talking $500,000 they pour into their marketing. So it should be good. It should be effective. But unfortunately, they don't pour that same effort into their service, right? And I'm speaking from experience, from things I have signed up for, and then also things clients have signed up before they signed up for my program, right? But I honor God by being in integrity with what I offer, which is why our clients get what they come for. My programs come with the satisfaction guarantee, which means we work with you until you get what you signed up for. Because as to me, coaches who say like, oh, I can't give you a guarantee. That's to me like saying going to a restaurant and then I order food and they say, oh, I can't give you food. You have the ingredients? What's the issue, right? Our priority is giving our clients what they sign up for. And then I also honor God by infusing my coaching with my faith, right? Because a Christian is who I am. Loving God is who I am. He tells us to acknowledge him in all our ways and he will direct our path. So as fast as I may quote Zig Ziglar or Grant Cardone, I will also quote the Bible because it's the greatest resource we have, right? That says everything that needs to be said. And for those of you watching this who are like I was in 2015, and you have an idea that God gave you. You've started it, right? You've been in some of you already started your business. You've been in it. You've made money here and there, but you know it's nowhere near the vision and the level that you desire it to be, right? The magnitude that you've put on your vision board or, dreamed and thought about, right? You want to help communities. You want to plant churches. You want to bless millions of women with your story. You want to create a sustainable business that just lets you focus on that full time, right? Or maybe you just even want to create consistent extra income to your job, right? I have created a resource for you to do that. And if you would like, it's called Mission and Money. I told you about it earlier, but it's called Mission and Money. And it basically walks you through in 5 steps the journey that I took, right? To actually go from having an expensive hobby to just having a business model in place where I understood and knew what to do to make money. If you would like to access that resource, just comment Mission and we will get that link to you, right? And what I would ask though for each of you to do is share your aha, right? Whether you realize this maybe reminded you of just a lesson you've learned in your journey, or you had an aha like I did in 2016 when I attended that conference and realized I was an expensive hobby owner, right? If you'd write down your takeaway below, I would be so grateful. I thank you so much for taking the time to hear my story. And once again, I just pray that you receive whatever it is that God had for you to receive from this video. In Jesus' name.